Despite my name discrimination,
What's that? Oh, I use this. Hey, Len. Len.
he always
Hey, Len.
Sure.
Len.
Yes, we feel easy.
Yes.
Oh, they already rewrite them. It's already done. It's already done.
You might like it.
Oh, they all
Here's them all.
It's good to know.
I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Here.
Trustee Dodge? Here. Trustee Guerra?
Here.
Trustee Ruzick? Here. Trustee Calandrella? Here. Trustee Carroll?
Here.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Here.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
approval of February 20, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting of February 20th, 2017.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge? Aye. Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Aye.
Inauguration date?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll.
ordinance number, please.
5170.
I move to pass ordinance number 5170 entitled an ordinance providing for the inauguration of the village president, village clerk, village trustees, and library trustees on May 15th, 2017.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella? Mayor McLaughlin?
Aye.
Orland Park Rotary Club raffle license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra.
I move to approve issuing a raffle license to the Orland Park Rotary Club to begin selling raffle tickets on Tuesday, March 7th, 2017 through Thursday, May 25th, 2017, when the raffle drawing will take place at Silver Lake Country Club.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge? Aye. Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Aye.
Community Pride Award.
I'm going to come down and ask Sophia to come up. Sophia Jablonski.
She will.
How many thanks you been Sophia is constantly winning awards and accomplishing some things that we've been honored to have her come up and have a public pat on the back from us, right?
Yeah, thank you.
But this latest one is pretty neat, so let me just read this real quick. Village of Orland Park Community Pride Award presented to Sophia Jablonski, Carl Sandburg High School bowling. Congratulations to Village of Orland Park in recognition of winning the Illinois High School Association Bowling Championship Wheelchair Division, the first female in history to win this title. The entire Orland Park community is proud of you. Coach Joe. You want to say a few words, and then she wants to say a few words. You want to talk a little bit about the tournament, or, you know?
Well, like Kara said, she was the first one. Actually, she was been around for 3 years now. She came to me, they got an email about she was interested in doing this. And I was a little small things get together, get the buses, get some aides to help out, bowling yard, but everyone really worked together very well. Getting her out, she said blanks, it seemed really gel with her, and I think that she she definitely improved the team as well. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make the state, they were there helping her out. And at state, she definitely was a big hit. She's not one who doesn't hold back. She tells it how it is. And she was open. And they had a lot of fun with her at state, so I'm really proud of her.
So first, I would like to thank all my coaches. And second, I would like to thank the team for being so supportive to me. And I love Cambridge as a school. It's a great school to be a part of. And I'd love to thank you for this awesome honor. It's the greatest thing ever. Thank you.
Just make a quick comment, or ask you to make a quick comment. I understand that you're so successful at this and got so much attention that a lot of schools that don't have this
Yeah.
are asking you guys perhaps.
There are quite a few schools in the area, at least at sectionals, that are just wondering why they don't have ethics meetings. So hopefully next year there'll be more. And what we're looking to see, maybe we can have an invite to the IHSA, was interested if we do that, we do the first of its kind as well. Just kind of pioneer this. So it's great.
It's kind of neat that you're spreading the great idea you had for bowling in this division to other schools and getting other kids involved. That's great.
And at the time, I didn't know any of that. I just wanted to go.
We're proud of you. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
St. Michael's cheerleaders?
We have some other winners here tonight too. And Coach Becky is not a stranger to the Orland Park meetings either.
That's a regular.
We read the certificate, use the wording, the girls like the same, but Village of Orland Park can't try to work. And then the head coach, Becky Price, on St. Michael's School Varsity Cheerleaders, Village of Orland Park. Good idea. School Varsity Cheerleaders, winning 2017 ICCA State Cheerleading Championship. You want to talk a little bit about the tournament, the team, or do you want to bring them up first?
I already bring them up
Right.
and safety things. Okay.
Oh, it's Coach Kimberly here.
Yes.
Right. Hey, now go.
Hold on.
Why don't you stay up there? She wants to talk about you. Colleen now. Cameron Friel. Anna Budino. Lizzie Howard. Everett Keane. Amanda Laundrie. Jessica Lawler. Anna O'Connor. Maud Carter.
He was Irish.
He does okay in the Irish.
Yeah, it's an Irish name. Sure. They couldn't get that one?
Right?
Mary Vicente. Lindsay Richter. Isabella Schilling. And Tegan Shannon. Coach, the floor is yours.
Okay, so, thank you, board members, thank you, Mayor, for having us back again. This is, this concluded my 25th year coaching at St. Michael. Wow. I know. And this is our 16th state championship for the school, so it's. We have 4 girls that are not here this evening, but we had a very young team, only 3 8th graders, so this was kind of what we thought was going to be a rebuilding year. But they really overshot the mark on that. They did phenomenal. We were the smallest school by far that competes in the division, because we compete in the highest category, the large school division. So we compete against public schools, private schools from across the state who have the surplus of 1,000, 2,000 enrollment, and obviously, St. Michael's a small school. So we definitely, we compete up because we'd like to include as many kids as possible in the program, and it's worked well for us. And the chemistry the kids have on the floor is phenomenal. So they just surpassed all our goals this year and did a phenomenal job.
You must have a little magic yourself.
Just try and do the formula every year, whatever it is.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
I want to have you guys up to give you a public pat on the back. We're so proud of you. You're out in these tournaments and you're representing yourselves and your families, but you're also representing the village. So you did a great job representing the village, and you did a great job with the tournament. And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You don't want to stay for this exciting part?
Consent agenda?
I'm going to read the items on the consent agenda. If any of the board members have any questions or problems with any of the items, ask for them to be considered separately. Payroll, accounts payable, outdoor warning siren system, quantitative narcotics and cannabinoid testing and expedited examination, disposal of certain seized vehicles at public auction, 6 Panasonic Arbitrator MK3 HD in-car video systems, Centennial Park Aquatic Center lifeguard licensing, special recreation Christmas dinner dance, 2017 recreation program guide distribution, ITB, CBA, or CPAC filters, removal and replacement of sand. Bid Centennial Park security gates, Centennial Park Aquatic Center pool shade structure quote, tree preservation and green infrastructure account policy, Village Hall green roof structural analysis, 2017 ComEd grant, 151st Street, Ravinia Avenue to West Avenue, purchase of existing temporary traffic signals, 2016-17 zoning map update, Calente Mexican Restaurant special use permit, Ziegler building code variance, and downtown Main Street parking deck final contract amount.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Ruzick.
I move to approve items A through T on the consent agenda.
Second.
Any questions or issues? Call the roll.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Mayor McLaughlin.
Aye.
Village of Orland Park periodical printing approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra.
I move to approve accepting the proposal for the 2017 through 2019 Recreation Department Program Guide and Senior Program Guide Series from Woodward Printing Services in the specified amounts in the proposal, not to exceed the budgeted amount. And approve accepting the proposal for the 2017 through 2019 Orland Park newsletter and annual reports in the specified amounts in the proposal, not to exceed the budgeted amount.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor McLaughlin.
Aye.
Veterans Outreach Program.
I'm just going to say that I think everybody knows we did a partnership with the Department of Defense to honor Vietnam veterans and recognize the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. And it was a 3-year program. This was the last year. And knowing that, knowing some of those special events we were doing for honor Vietnam veterans won't be going on next year, Trustee Dodge, who's our liaison with the Veterans Commission, and Tom Doolby with the Veterans Commission, we're working on some programs that they wanted to talk about and get the board's opinion on tonight.
Yeah, so Mayor and Board, Tom is here. We've had a couple of conversations, and part of tonight is just an update on all the things that we're doing, and then some of the things that we're thinking about doing going forward. So you know, Tom, let's take the board through the update.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come up and talk about veterans. It's a subject near and dear to my heart. This is the third time in the last several months I've had an opportunity to be up here for veteran-related programs. The first one was PAWS. That's the organization that trains service dogs for veterans. Teresa Hartman was here from the Orland Park Vet Center talking about the services available for the veterans at the Vet Center up on 159th and 88th Avenue. And tonight I have the opportunity to basically summarize some of the programs that we're going to have going forward through 2017. That is the last year to commemorate the end of the Vietnam War, but also using it as a transition for all veterans to show their support. And the three objectives we have are to support our local veterans organizations, such as the VFW, the American Legion, and other clubs as they come forward, to raise awareness of veterans' needs and their contribution to society, and to enrich the lives of veterans by connecting them to the community through physical and social activities. Some of the programs we've got coming out, and all the details haven't been worked out, but all these will be coming out in the next several weeks. The first one is Operation Outreach. It's basically a military appreciation package sponsored by the Village of Orland Park. It's a voluntary program for people to identify their family members or friends who are currently serving in the military or will currently be discharged from the military. The goal is to recognize their service and sacrifice for our hometown heroes and to send them an appreciation package from the community, which would include a letter from the mayor, a Veterans Commission challenge coin, which we'll have pictures of within the next few days, a 1-month membership to the Orland Park Sportsplex, and other tokens of appreciation from a grateful community. We are going to be going out into the community and asking businesses if they'd like to contribute to this package to show our appreciation of our veterans service.
Is this for veterans or active service?
This is for active service.
Right.
It's the procedure. It's voluntary, so that information we get will be kept private, and we'd be asking for the name, the rank, and the branch of service of the individuals. Also, when they'd be home on leave or when they're being discharged, so that we could either mail to them or deliver a package to them. And all those will come through the Veterans Programs Office, so they come to my attention, and that'll be spelled out in the press releases and the flyers that will be going out shortly. Another program, and again, public information has been really great in helping me develop getting this information out into the village. It should be forthcoming in the next few days. The aid and attendance seminars for veterans and their surviving spouses that may need home health care assistance, and this would be for illnesses that are not service-connected. It's really for the aged, the older veterans, people that have a financial need. We've got an aging community in Orland Park. Many of them are veterans, and many of them are too proud to come forward and ask for help. This is an opportunity for them to find out more about programs here to help you and to move forward with them. With the help of our Information Technology Department, we're in the process of developing an interactive Veterans Memorial website. Basically, what the website will be is a source, a website to go to so you can research all the 970-some names that are on the memorial today, and give people, family members of the people who have been enshrined on our on our Veterans Wall, the opportunity to add information to it. Much of the information is very sketchy, so they could say, hey, that's my Uncle Joe. He was a captain in the infantry in the United States Army. He served in France, and here's some biographical information on him. We'll give them the opportunity to submit that and have it added to the website. We'll also have pictures of various veterans functions, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, the Veterans Steak Fries, and other special occasions that we've had through the years.
The World War II Memorial in Washington has something like that.
Yeah, actually many of them do. The World War II Memorial does, the Vietnam Memorial in Washington does, and I guess we're becoming a copycat, but when I looked at the fact we have 900 plus names on there, it just gives an opportunity for people to say who's there. We've got a flying tiger on the wall. We've got a Civil War veteran, World War I veterans on the wall. We've got men who stormed the beaches on Normandy. We've got men who stormed the beaches in the Pacific. We also have guys who have talked about, getting ready to invade Japan, and fortunately they didn't have to. So this is just another way to honor our veterans and our current service people whose names are on the wall. Memorial Day ceremony this year, in addition to adding names to the wall, we're going to have a flyover with, I believe it's a Sky Raider. This is a plane that was developed at the end of World War II, and soldiers who served in Korea and Vietnam would recognize it from air support missions. You've heard the term low and slow. This is one of the planes that provided the low and slow support. It was heavily armed, and I think the infantry in the field were very grateful to have them on their side. On Veterans Day this year, we're going to honor the French government and Vietnam veterans. The French government because they hosted the Paris Peace Accord and helped bring an end to that terrible war. And this will be the last formal event we'll have for Vietnam veterans, and making a push to have as many Vietnam veterans' names added to the wall as possible. And the next thing is really a 2018 event, and this is going to be in cooperation with our wonderful recreation department. It's our inaugural 5K run and walk, and it's scheduled for Memorial Day in that area in 2018. We're going to be looking to the community to come out and support our local veterans organizations and support our both active military and our veterans. So if you have any questions or comments,
The only thing you didn't mention is, are we going to have a float again in the Orland Days Parade for veterans only, maybe not just Vietnam veterans, but any veterans?
Well, last year I was the only one on the float, so if we have it, I hope we get a few more.
We'll get you some close support, though.
If we get a sky hug.
I mean, if the float's not worth it, it's not worth it, but I mean...
let me talk to the Veterans Commission about that, the VFW and American Legion, and see if we can get some participants for the float.
But the float was geared towards Vietnam veterans.
Yes.
So maybe if you open it up.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just on emphasize a couple things that Tom and I have talked about, which is, as we transition kind of what we're doing, it was about outreach, right? So there's a lot of service members coming home, making sure they're aware. So we want to make sure that with public information, we keep up, just kind of a steady messaging so that people know to contact us, because we'd like to say thanks. And then, as we think about it, and Tom's brought up some great programs where we want to serve vets the way they want and need to be served. So if they're at such a state where they need some additional support or funding, we could do that. And then over some coffee that Nancy graciously provided, Tom, Nancy, and I kind of kicked around some ideas for 2018. So we're excited about this because I think staff, jump in here, Nancy, if I got this wrong, they've been thinking might be a good opportunity to do an officially sanctioned 5K versus what we've done, because our runs are pretty popular. And as we kind of talked it around, we threw some ideas around. We think if we do the race in the morning and then adjust the start time for our Memorial Day and coordinate it with the flyover, could be a really big, interesting day we could do on Memorial Day and do it out here on Village Green. And Tom had some great ideas about getting some military equipment in here. We, maybe be able to provide some food vendors. So it's early stages, but we just wanted to make it, a bigger celebration. And, folks are out running the 5K. We'd love to include, various community groups to kind of man some of the stations where you're handing out refreshments, and have some vets at those stations, but let some of perhaps the younger folks passing out the Gatorade. So Nancy, I know there's a lot of work here to get this done, but why don't you kind of jump in and let the board know all the planning that goes into a 5K?
Well, first, we have to identify the location and the route that we're going to utilize, so there'll be some time spent on that. As Trustee Dodge mentioned, we're going to have it certified, which will be official for Orland Park. We've been talking about getting a certified.
There you go.
Sorry. We've been talking about having a certified run, so we're pretty thrilled to have it in honor of the veterans. That'll be a great way to kick it off. And we're excited for the memorial event in general. We know how to do runs in Orland. Our turkey trot is a huge success. Our pandemonium is a success. So having an official 5K, getting the sponsors won't be a problem. I think people are going to be willing, as always, especially for veterans, to donate and get involved and be engaged. So we're excited. We've been dying to do this.
Should come together. A lot of
Sounds
work.
good. Sounds good. Any questions?
I wanted to point out the Operation Outreach, that's like, you're already doing something similar to that, right, Tom? I know, I happen to know a Lance Corporal that was blessed with a,
Informally, when we've been made aware of current military or home on leave, we've sent them a letter thanking them for their service, telling them how much we appreciate them and that they're not forgotten, and we would send them a gift card to a local restaurant, which we go out and purchase. So that's what we've done in the past. I think over the last 2 years, we may have sent out maybe a dozen of those letters. Looking at the church bulletins throughout the village, I know we've got an awful lot of young men and women serving, and we can't forget them. We learned a terrible lesson in the 60s and 70s when we came home from Vietnam, how we were treated, and it's really been wonderful the last several years how our soldiers and veterans are being treated, and I'm really proud and thankful that the village has been as supportive as they've been of these programs. So we can't forget them, we've got to honor them, and then when we're home, we've got to help them get back into society.
And active service people, when we find out about them, which is not always easy to do, my office, we give them while they're home on leave, access to the sportsplex, no charge. So we've been doing that for a while. We just don't hear about them enough, or when they're coming home on leave for this short period.
And I think that's where through some of the village.
Yeah, well, we do. Yeah, families.
Yeah,
as
because
well.
you can't expect the service member to know about this program, so we just got to kind of do some fairly consistent messaging to our residents that when their son or their cousin or their nephew or whatever or daughter, however the relationship is for the service member when they're home, let us know. So that's what we're working on.
All right,
Thanks.
Keep us up on it.
Absolutely, thank you.
Next item. Anybody sign it? Board comments. Trustee Guerra.
Well,
Someday I'm going to surprise everybody and start with Trustee.
I have a little more involved topic tonight, too. I have spoken with some about this. The Bass Fishing Club from District 230 has asked us, they've asked us for a while now, if we can help them out by providing storage for them at Lake Sedgwick. I think we all know they've done a lot of work in the lake, making those breeding buckets with the hoses and stuff, and they did a fish audit out there in the fall, and a fish count so that we know what types of fish are there. And all. They consider that their classroom. Now, they're building boats themselves that they're working at school, but it's the transportation to and from school requiring a trailer to get them out on the lake that sometimes they're hesitant, so they don't get as much time out there as they would like. So I've been told that if I have the support of the board for this, to put a storage, like a storage locker unit right out on the lake near where we store our boats, a temporary one until we get the master plan on the lake, that the mayor has offered to fund it. So it would not come from any village funds, just needs support from the rest of the board. And it's kind of a token of appreciation to the Bass Fishing Club. And it's District 230, it's not just Sandburg. And they've been very successful and I think, really helpful to us. So that's what I'm asking the rest of the board for
The basic question for the board, I think, is does anybody have a problem with the storage unit out near our storage unit?
Well, Trustee Guerra, it was a topic of discussion the last couple of weeks and specifically today, and I asked Gary Couch in the 2018 budget to budget for a permanent building because we also have the same storage issue with our canoes and so forth. So I directed him to speak with District 230 if they'd be willing to share the cost for a permanent building, which would also allow the Recreation Department to have a office there for the rental of the boats and the other things we do. Short-term only wouldn't be a problem, keeping in mind our village codes and so forth, but short-term only while we are preparing to build a building, I think we could do that.
The building wouldn't be this summer, though.
The building, it's not budgeted. It would be budgeted and built in 2018.
Yeah, so I think what Trustee Gear is talking about is just temporary for right now.
Right.
Whatever the storage unit costs, I said I would sponsor it.
And I think to the acting village manager's point, with the master plan, we're considering perhaps relocating the marina even on the other side by the
Yes.
ice rink where we have more buildings. And,
Right.
and it has to be looked at as a whole. So this is strictly temporary, and it would, get them through this season and then as far into the following season as we may need.
We'll try to get a variance.
Please, ask for it if you would.
So you want to take a quick...
Anybody, Trustee Carroll, any comments on that?
Well, I'll just say that they've done some great stewardship of the lake out there. They've done a lot with the fish stocking. They've done some work with the veterans, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes.
I'd be in favor of it.
Yeah, I'm in favor. I figure we have to do the intergovernmental agreement, but yeah, it should be easy.
I'm all in favor of spending your money instead of the village's money.
I'm good with it. Great.
Fine.
Great cost.
I just didn't want to hold it up by trying to go through a process and getting money from the village and amending the budget and all that. So with that, I'd say if we can figure out how to make it work temporary this year, but I agree, we need something permanent that looks good and all that next year instead of a couple of trailers, so. Anything else? Trustee Guerra?
Oh, that's good.
Trustee Carroll?
Just want to point out, as I know Trustee Calandrillo often brings this up as well, but we had 20 items on the consent agenda. They were vetted through the committee process. The detailed discussion of those 20 items was had at each of those 6 committees, and only after going unanimously through committee did they come to the board for the consent agenda.
Trustee Dodge?
Just a quick thanks to staff. We were kind of going through some of the Lean Six Sigma process work, and I know it's intense and there's a lot of work, but I think we're making progress, and I'm pretty pleased. And we'll bring some updates to the board for when we finish up these projects.
We have one more to present to committee.
It's been a good effort. I think we're learning as a broader team, as a whole culture, and so I'm thrilled about that. And I just want to make sure staff hears. I think the whole board appreciates them working on this to try and figure out how to make us more efficient.
And Trustee Dodge, we're sending another group to the Lean Six Sigma training in April?
Yes.
In April, and HPO training for 35 in May.
Great.
In June, excuse me. So it's moving forward and getting more in depth into the entire organization.
Appreciate it.
No comments, Mr. Mayor.
Just a couple quick things. I know that a couple residents have brought to the attention of the village about coyotes and that kind of coming out more. We're asking residents to call the police non-emergency number so we can keep track and stats, see if we do have an increase X or Y. This is the
birthing season for the coyotes, so they're starting to come out a little bit more. So if we're trying to track the trends, and so if you see them, call the non-emergency number at the police station, tell them where you found them or where you saw them. We also have tips online to kind of, there hasn't been a reported attack on a human in Illinois ever, so it's mostly just for your pets to watch out for the little pets. So we're just trying to keep track of that. Also, this week the beat meetings are coming up, so there's 2 this week, so I think there'll be calls going out there. I can't think of the beats off the top of my head.
Wednesday.
Beat 3 tomorrow at Cruz School, and beat 2 on Wednesday at Prairie at 6:30 p.m.
I thought you were 6. Sorry.
And just another thing that the police department does to get out of the community and kind of talk one-on-one about possible issues in the community or talk about the good things we're doing in the community. And then finally, my mother would be disappointed if I don't say it. Happy Cashman Pulaski Day, the Revolutionary hero. So everyone know your history, Cashman Pulaski.
Where's the baked goods?
Forgot them at home. Thanks.
Trustee Fenton.
Just a little update on what we used to call the farmer's market. With the help of Trustee Dodge, it's now going to be called Market in the Park. It's being moved down to Crescent Park, and it will be held on Thursday evenings from 4 to 8 p.m. And we plan it'll run from Memorial Day, after Memorial Day through Labor Day. And it's going to be an artesian market, and it will also have farmers, and it will also have entertainment. We're working with local restaurants and markets in town that will also be vendors, special event vendors for the week. So it's going to be a revamp of what we had that was located at the Civic Center, and we're moving it down to our beautiful Crescent Park. So to attract everyone from the trains, our 9750, the apartments from across the street too. So we've got a lot of residents that are going to be able to walk to this event. So plus there's ample parking for anybody that decides to park too. And maybe even get some people to hop off the train before this train stop instead of going down further to the other 2 stops. So we're looking forward to it. The Recreation Department, I've been working with Nancy, and they're doing a great job, and we have a lot of exciting things happening this year down at the Market in the Park.
Real quick, Dan brought up the coyotes. I've heard that a few times lately too, that it seems to be worse than ever. Does our animal control person ever meet with the Forest Reserve and see how they handle things or how to work together with them at all? Or
We largely have the same policy. We do trap and we do euthanize those that have attacked and killed dogs or have attacked a human. Very, very rare. However, as Trustee Calandrello said, there is no relocation of coyotes. No one wants them. Can't take them over to Palos Heights. Though we'd love to. So the only time we attempt to trap or shoot them, and we have, is under those circumstances. There is no good answer to this. The forest preserves do not want coyotes, raccoons, skunks, or anything else. When captured, they have to be euthanized, and our animal control officer is a certified euthanasiast. But it's just a simple fact that coyotes are here. They're in the city of Chicago, but we will attempt to trap only those that go after.
yeah, I mean, we're surrounded by forest preserves, so that's a good thing.
They're filled with
But
them.
it seems like more coyote complaints or calls lately than I've ever heard.
I think you're right. I think there are more, but we're not seeing any attacks or anything like that. They're extremely difficult to trap. There's several ways of doing it, and you try to do it, and our animal control officer, I would say, is an expert, and he does know how to trap them humanely. But first of all, very difficult to trap to begin with.
Last thing, real quick, usually this time of year, I'm telling the village manager to thank the Public Works for handling the snow, but in this case, they did a good job after those heavy rains and winds last week with a lot of flooded intersections, and we had some problems last week, so they did a great job. If you can tell them, we appreciate it.
Will do. The only problem, there's some state issues that are not ours on Southwest Highway, that the flooding lasted about 3 days, but it's a state issue, not our issue,
And
as well as
143rd.
143rd Street, of course, west of Wolf Road, which have been flooding for
They
years.
did a good job clearing a lot of intersections.
They
putting
did a
barricades
great
up,
job.
Getting out there. I think there's one item on the executive session.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman?
Trust,
Does people want to say anything? They didn't register.
What?
if they didn't register. We normally, I don't know if anybody's here to say anything. We normally have a sign-in. If you guys are here just to observe or any questions. Okay. All right, entertain a motion to go in executive session.
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Fenton.
Move to go in executive session for A, approval of minutes, B, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific village employees.
Second.
Call the roll. Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge. Aye. Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello. Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor McLaughlin.
Aye. Hey, Mike, I think the executive session is short, but I want to talk about something afterwards. So what? I think this is short, but I want to talk to you about something afterwards. All right. How you doing? Good. What's going on?